Okay. Hello again, Psycho-Creative Community, April 22nd, 5:06 Israel time, different time in United States and Poland. What is the time over there, Irek?
4 o'clock p.m.
We have 1 hour difference. And David, what is the time?
It's a few minutes past 10 a.m.
You're in the East Coast.
East Coast, yes.
Okay, all right. So from Israel through Poland to the East Coast United States, we begin the class. And we return to the chapter 1 of the illogical logic. And before we begin, after we made the first lesson, and some of you participated in creating the audio, does anyone have a question, something that you would like to share with us about this topic, about what we're going to dive into in many ways in the future weeks, months? So any question is important. Any question can make a contribution. So it's fascinating to say that we know nothing about intuition, and actually we are going to know nothing about intuition, and nevertheless we will get better in working with it. Full understanding is not possible because intuition has a different set of logic. It works, let's say, in a different medium or different stage, different place. But there is a place for meeting, for cooperation between the logical logic, in which we have consensus about more or less, and the illogical logic, in which it is more of the individual inner wisdom. Okay? So this is the bridge that we're trying to make. So I invite you, if you have any question, if you have any curiosity about what we're talking about or about intuition in general, feel free to ask or to comment. And if you don't, hello Tal, welcome. Hi. I will read again the first paragraph and the last one, just to warm up, get into the atmosphere. And then we're gonna choose randomly one of the paragraphs to make the lesson about, okay? So I deliberately stay in chapter 1 because I don't think we actually covered it, so we can go on. There are so many things to stop over there and to ask questions and to make investigations. And I believe this is the right way to learn. And at the same time, we can skip to any chapter, again in a random way, and just take another paragraph from a random chapter, we'll do it in future, and learn it. So this is not always a linear way of learning, because intuition is not linear. So chapter 1, knowing without understanding how. If you look deeply enough and explore this topic thoroughly, you will likely find that there is nothing more interesting in our world than our intuition. Of course, being interested in something is a very personal issue and a matter of taste, and each person will be mostly intrigued by what he finds most exciting and fascinating. Yet, I do believe that in the core of many people's true curiosity exists something like what Albert Einstein said: the only real valuable thing is intuition. He did not mention what intuition was, and he was a scientist, a very logical one. But I guess he felt this, but he couldn't explain it himself also. Okay, and the last paragraph, and it is also related to scientists or science. Intuition is not something we prove. Not because, by the way, not because there is no way to prove it, but because when we try to prove, we miss the point. So intuition is not something we prove, although its validity is pretty easy to demonstrate over time. I myself face intuition's accuracy a few times per day, and I'm not so amazed by this because I know that I know. Those of you who deep in your heart know, or at least believe, that knowing without understanding how we came to know is possible are warmly welcome to join me and find out how this strange option becomes our everyday reality. So, in other words, we try to make intuition something more handy, something more friendly, less extraordinary, although it will always be extraordinary, but less bizarre, less foreign, something that we can approach to, use more often, get in touch with, improve our skills about it, etc. It is actually a skill. I believe being intuitive is a skill that we can improve like many other skills. So let's see, Tal, because you are relatively new here, aren't you?
Yes.
Good. So I give you the privilege to randomly choose a paragraph. Give us a number between 1 and 18, not 1 and or not 18, so we can make some learning about it. 14. Okay. 14. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, let's see if it is relevant for studies. This may cause some of you to lose hope. I think it is too short.
Then
I
let's
think it
go
is
for 15.
the bridge between paragraphs. Okay, all right. So this one I think may be interesting, enough information. Can you read it for us, please?
I can read it, but I'm not sure my reading is very good, so be patient
Oh,
with me.
of
Okay.
course.
Yet I have no intuition of making even the slightest I'm dyslexic. I prefer not to read.
Okay. Okay, Vodit, can you make
it hard on me.
Okay. Thank you for sharing this.
Yeah, I can read, but can you make the font a little bigger, please? Okay. You have to make it smaller still because I don't see the whole thing. Oh, okay, great. Yet I have no intention of making even the slightest deviation of the reader's journey. The only one I believe will deliver the keys to open the doors to intuitions, laws, and secrets. For us to get closer to this kingdom of endless knowledge, we must change paradigms and start speaking a different language. This means giving rise to a language in which there is no compulsive need to prove anything, and no over-reliance on old concepts of human intelligence that reflect a non-flexible and non-creative world. We need to move into a world where we can acquire depth and maintain it in a dynamic state. It's not that I understood everything. Can I read it again?
So read it again and slowly.
Slowly.
And wherever, well, it also refers to the chapter before, but let's try to work with this one. So slowly, yet I have no intention.
I have no intention of making even the slightest deviation of the reader's journey, the only one I believe will deliver the keys to open the doors to intuition's laws and secrets.
So there is a journey here that may be challenging, because in the previous paragraph, this may cause some of you to lose hope at very early stage, and you become too skeptical about developing better understanding. So
Intuition.
for some people, when it is not a solid ground of information, they may lose hope too early.
Okay.
But intuition cannot be a solid ground. So this is why I say I cannot make any slightest deviation. All right, continue.
When you say deviation, what do you mean really? Can you give me a synonym word?
We have a kind of a path of the direction. All right.
You mean getting off the path?
Yeah,
I
if
cannot
I'm
get
trying to make it, let's say, too logical or too understandable, I will deviate from talking about intuition.
Okay.
We have to stay in a little bit foggy space with uncertainty in order for us to really work with intuition. This is a challenge and opportunity at the same time.
And what you mean that the keys to open the doors to the intuition laws and secrets, they are in the hands of the reader?
Not only, I'm saying that the keys, I'm saying that the journey that I create here contains the keys to open the doors. So we cannot deviate from the journey. The journey itself holds the keys to the doors. So once we deviate from it, we deviate from its purpose.
Okay. For us to get closer to this kingdom of endless knowledge, we must change paradigms and start speaking a different language. This means...
Okay, continue.
This means giving rise to a language in which there is no compulsive need to prove anything. I intentionally say anything because everything is not the right way to say it. You can, I'm sorry, I'm an editor, so it's part of the thing. Prove anything and no over-reliance on all concepts of human intelligence, no over-reliance on old concepts of human intelligence that reflect a non-flexible and non-creative world. Okay. We need to move.
Do you understand now?
Yeah, I understand. Non-flexible, non-creative world. We need to move into a world where we can acquire depth and maintain it in a dynamic state.
Okay, so I'm saying that we are learning now a kind of a new language. And this chapter is kind of preparing us to this journey, to this adventure of learning a different kind of language. And its laws and rules are different from what we are accustomed to be in a language. Okay, it is as if we were taken by a spaceship to a new planet, new rules, new laws, and we are there to learn new concepts. So intuition can speak to us, but we should have open mindset for new kind of language.
My question is, does that language exist already as a volume of words or vocabulary or jargon, or we make it up as we go along?
Oh, this is the kind of question where you get both answers correct. You see, this is the difference between the linear logic and the illogical logic. The linear logic asks, is it this way or this way? And intuition says it's both ways, together at the same time. So it exists, and at the same time you create it.
Okay.
Okay? In Hebrew, it is similar words. In English, it's not similar words. In order to find it, I need to create it. Okay? Actually, if we want to talk the intuitive language, we need to get more creative, as if we are inventing the intuitive language. When we go to the mode of inventing, intuition is start moving inside our head. Okay? This is a language. All of you who create know that creation is a language. Every creator has his own language, his own handwriting, even you can say, in his painting or in his writing or in his sculpture or in his dancing. He has his handwriting, he has his language. And he creates his language. Still, there is a language over there. And it is important to say this, where we have this noise from, let's see. Yeah. It is important to say this for our logical brain to get to know that intuition has its logic. It is a system. All right? It's not just random messages. It is a system with inner logic, I would say even with a purpose, with a direction, not just random messages that come to our mind from our gut, something like this. This is what I claim. This is what my statement is, or the theory, if you like. That intuition has its own structure, its own inner logic, yet our logical mind cannot describe it, cannot put it in charts, in Excel. It doesn't work this way. It has different platform, but still it has a platform. This is what I suggest, that intuition has a platform, has a rule, has rules, has the yes and no's, has its limits, has its purpose. But still, if we try to understand it with our logical tools, we will not be able. We will need to approach it with our emotional tools, spiritual tools, creative tools. Then we will start to feel that we understand it. Okay, so now all of you, I invite you after this conversation Verdit and I had, I invite you now to ask any question you want, regarding intuition, regarding this conversation, about the language of intuition. Okay? So we can start learning through asking questions. And this is a very important thing to say, because we can, I would say, extract knowledge from intuition many times through questions. Question can take us to the part in our mind, some say our right brain, where intuition is generated or spoken. We need to ask more questions in order to be over there, more curious, more adventurous, more childish, more creative, more naive. Then we can start talking the language. So I open a new page, and I am inviting you to start asking questions, whatever you like.
I have 2 questions.
Okay, Tal, and then David. And yes, you can ask as many questions as you want.
Okay, first of all, I wanted to know if like on the physical base, don't we use like intuition all the time? Like to know where we're in space, how we, I don't know, go upstairs, or even drive, the space between us and other cars, I don't know, like most of the things that we do during the day, we don't think about. We use like sort of like a knowing an automatic knowing that, and we do it?
You will have to rephrase the question. I still don't understand you.
Okay.
Try again.
Most of the day, or most of our lives, right? We do physical things, or most of the things we do, we don't think about, right? We sit on the chair, we don't look at the chair, or hold the chair and sit down. Or when we drive in the car, we know about the size of the car and we don't crash into other cars. We go up the stairs. We can think about other things, but we go through the day physically moving ourselves without
Let's say in an automatic way.
Is that sort of intuition or no, not at all? That's one question that I have.
Well, are you asking whether intuition is there without our awareness?
It's there without our awareness, but I'm asking, okay, even like if I was a dancer, okay, or a painter or something, right? Not everything I do, or I would say probably maybe a big part of what I do doesn't go through the brain, right? It goes through something else.
Okay.
Through a place where I'm not aware of.
So
is that intuition?
Okay. All right. Let me see.
I decide to move my arms like this,
okay. Let's see if I can understand you. Are my spontaneous actions mediated also by my intuition, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, understood you. So, all right, there are other things that I actually do that are coming from my intuition without me noticing it.
Right.
Good. All right.
Okay.
Another question?
And another question that I was thinking of is intuition sort of the same place where, I don't know, where you quiet your mind, like meditation, or maybe the place where you go to when you're under sort of hypnosis state.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere where you're attached and not attached, like
is related to.
But you have to let go you have to really let go to arrive to that place. You know you're there, but you're also
is intuition
you're also
related
not
to,
holding on to clinging to it.
Okay. Is intuition related to altered states of consciousness?
Mm-hmm.
In which we let go of some of our, let's say, cognitive, regular attention, something like this,
Mm-hmm.
like meditation, hypnosis, different things.
Yes, it's different things.
Okay, meditation, hypnosis, and okay, etc. All right, thank you. All right, David.
Yes. I think I spoke in the past about it. I don't know if you remember that. Nevertheless, today you mentioned that there is no structure to intuition, which in a kind of way add more into not confusion, but I think we all trying to learn and figure out intuition in order to hold it and come close to it or capture it. So it's illogical, and there is no logic to it also. So all this, and also you mentioned, go back to childhood, where maybe in that state, it's more, we are closer to intuition because we're not.
What is your question, David? I mean, what is the question about structure? Well, I did say that I believe that intuition does have its structure, yet we cannot grasp it without logical structure. But I'm saying that it has a different mode, but still has its own platforms and laws. But it has its inner rules, inner logic, we can say. But it's not the same as our left brain common logic, okay? So for our logic, it's hard to grasp the structure of intuition, yet I'm saying that there is a structure, yet different, okay? Let's say you are used to drive a car that goes with fuel or electricity and drives forward. This is what you know. And you cannot imagine totally different mode of transportation. Okay? Yet someone is telling you, well, there is a different kind of transportation, but totally different rules. You can move from country to country in minutes. Different rules, different energy. You cannot understand it, but it is there. And it can make a communication with you. All right? For example, intuition precedes its time. Okay? The common logic is always from now to the past. All the knowledge I have acquired so far, nothing about the future. Intuition is telling you, go there. It will be good for you. Okay? It points to the future. The common logic cannot understand. How come you say this? We have no information. We have no references. Okay? Intuition says, well, I have. You don't. I have. I have a different structure. I see things that you cannot see.
So there is so we have forces that come in for our head telling us, don't go there. It doesn't make sense. There's no logic to it. But yet, intuition, in order to get closer to intuition, you want to go there. You want to experience that.
Yeah. So now I want you to create a question from our discussion. I will move to Verdit. You think about the question, and I will get back to you.
Okay.
We need questions to move forward. Verdit.
Okay. Isn't intuition mostly non-verbal? And like there is an expression, listen to your guts. And
mostly not
non-verbal. And
okay.
When you say listen to your guts, it means you have a sensation, I would say, not a feeling, a sensation.
Listen to your gut. Listen to your feeling. Listen to your gut feelings, right?
Your gut feeling, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the question.
So, is intuition not verbal, more sensual, I don't know, more related to passion? I give you some ideas. Okay. Maybe it's very interesting. I can put another question. Is our job to translate intuition into words? Let's say it is a language without no words, but maybe we are capable of making a translation. So we get different languages, and there is a translator that bridges between the two languages. All right, nice.
Yeah, I thought about the word bridge, and you said it immediately. That was intuition. A bridge.
A bridge.
Yeah.
So what are you asking about the bridge?
I'm saying that instead of translating, I would say to bridge also. or
You got
maybe,
it.
yeah.
To bridge, bridge intuition into our life. Something like this. I would say a bridge between, always a bridge between, right?
Yeah, bridge between intuition and words.
Mhm. Nice. Okay, so maybe this is the human challenge, a part of our growth. Take the challenge of bridging between the central information that is coming from within, from intuition, to bridge it into words that we can express to ourselves as well to others. Nice. So I can tell you, for example, that one of the things that I've been teaching for 21 years is intuitive painting instructing. I teach people who are intuitive painting teachers, and this is what they do. They translate their intuition into guidance, they are asking the students to paint something after they felt in their intuition and made from it some symbol that they could deliver to the students to do work with it. They have to do this bridging, this translation. Okay. Other questions, please.
How do I develop my intuition?
Well, let's try to make it more focused because your intuition is already developed.
Okay.
So what do you want to develop?
My connection to it?
Okay, nice. I would even say to my intuition, because I think there is something subjective and personal and individual. It's like, and this is what makes it more interesting and again, different from the common logic, which is more common. The language is something we share and have consensus about, and intuition is more personal. It's like inner guidance, specific, that may be good for me, but may not be good for my friend. Okay? And this is another example why we don't need here to prove or to say, I'm right. I'm right for me, in my direction, with my intuition. It may be wrong for you, but it is what's right for me. Okay, and this is a great obstacle because we are used to have some kind of, I would say even dictatorship about what is right and what is wrong. It's like we are compulsive to have agreement or to argue about it. Okay, other questions, please. Yes, David.
Can you say that intuition give us an advantage in life to know ahead of time? Because I have intuition, you're not using intuition. I use intuition. I'm advantaged than you, or not.
Okay. Okay. That gives advantage due to, let's say, extra knowledge.
Extra knowledge, knowing things ahead of time, and acting on it.
Okay, ahead of time. And the privilege, is it right?
Privilege, yes. Yes.
Privilege. Vadik, you can follow me. Privilege. Privilege.
Advantage. Advantage.
Wait, does intuition give us advantage to extra ahead of time and the advantage? I'd like to use another word, to act upon it while others cannot, let's say.
Another question, Pinky?
Yeah.
Can we say most people don't act on intuition, don't use intuition? The majority?
that most people do not act according to their intuition. Nice. Yes, good. The more you ask, the more you ask. All right, more questions, please. We do not take anything for granted here, because never, I mean, we cannot prove anything here. So every question or any question, Verdit, every question or any question. If I have a language editor here, I have more attention to the words. All right. Anything else before we start trying to answer these questions? By the way, it may be useful sometimes to connect what we do here to your life. For example, can I work with my intuition about some issues with my life? Have I done this? Have I tried this? Do I have some experience about this to share, about some intuitive decisions I have made, or intuitive ideas that I ignored? It's also possible and even legitimate. So whenever you have something personal to share, it can also be useful for this lesson. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. Okay. So, Irek, you cannot see the questions now. Give me a number between 1 and 7.
You speaking to me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm asking you to give us a number.
7.
7. You want 7. Okay, so I get back. Hello, Bashia.
Hello, sorry, I was late.
Okay.
I had a question, but actually I don't know whether we can use it as a question, but maybe we can. Because I remember hearing that we women are more intuitive than men. And now I know that it's not the case, yes?
Are you asking a question or making a statement?
Maybe let's ask the question.
Okay, what is your question?
Is that true that women are more intuitive than men?
Do you really ask this question? Is it
Probably. Well,
is it true that women are more intuitive?
This is what I heard in the past, but now being part of your classes, I don't think so. But maybe it's still good to ask this question.
So you think it is more general, more kind of human asset than just women's asset? This is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is a dangerous question.
Oh,
Sorry.
No. I can cope with it easily. No problem. We don't get into trouble. Don't worry. Okay. So if I have the time, I will address this question in a very simple way, by the way. But Irek raised the question 7. This is what we choose.
Can we say that most people do not act according to their intuition?
All right. And so I will, for making it more interesting, I will add, and why? So I'm inviting you now to write to yourself in about 3 minutes your answer to this question, but explain. Can we say that most people do not act according to their intuition, and why so? Why is it that way? if they use it or not. I want to hear your answers. Here, you invent your answers. There is no right or wrong here. There are opinions, guessings, they're all valid. And we need as many angles as possible for one question. Okay?
I would like to share something from my own experience. I myself think
Why
that...
don't we hear you?
Oh.
Yes, you want to answer?
Yes, I would like... I unmuted myself. Can you still not hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, thank you. But now Dr. Pinky got muted, I saw.
I'm back.
Okay. Can you hear me, Dr. Pinky?
Of course. So,
yes. Okay. So I can testify about myself that I think that I ignored my intuition many times because my logical part, like you say, left brain, told me that it doesn't make sense.
well,
and I think it could be one example, one of the examples.
no, it's terrific what you said, because you could have continued your discussion with your left brain. The fact that something doesn't make sense doesn't mean that we need always to ignore it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes, it will always not make sense because it's different language.
Mm-hmm.
Are we open to the people from, let's say, for example, let's say that a new spaceship is coming, and some creatures are there greeting us, would like to make a connection, but they speak a different language and they have different habits. Are we really ready to communicate or say, no, it doesn't make sense? Doesn't make sense that they came here. No, I ignore it. Okay? So the fact that it doesn't make sense, that's right. But the question for you, Basha, what are you doing with things that are not making sense, but something there is inviting you, something there is talking to you, despite the fact that it doesn't make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay.
And you would be pleased to hear that yesterday, after reading chapter 2, I listened to my intuition, and I met somebody today, and this is why I was late, following my intuition.
All right. So you made something that did not make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So it made intuition sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, I quieted my logical kind of reasoning, yes, and I still followed my intuition.
Fantastic. This is what we call cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing. All right. So who else wants to address this question, please?
I want to. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I thought of something that is how my intuition many times led me in the wrong way. Especially in my love life, when I didn't listen to my logic and I listened to my intuition, it brought me to a place that eventually I could say, well, I made a mistake. But this week I had an insight that my mistakes are really very important for my growth and development. So it's good that my intuition led me to those places because, yeah, I got a lot of experience from it and developed from it and grew from it.
Nice. This is just another example of different kind of language or logic. Your left brain says, you made a mistake. Wrong. Do not do it again. Intuition may say, well, you think it's a mistake, but you did grow out of it. So maybe the plan was a little bit more complicated than you thought.
Yeah.
Different language, different structure. A very nice question. Is intuition is interested in my growth, in my
Yeah.
development. Okay, good. Who else wants to address this question?
So,
yes, Irek.
So now is the question.
You have another question.
Are we going to pay the price? If you are follow your intuition, are we going to pay the price of it? This is a very important question, I think, because it could be that you have to pay the biggest price of your life. Are you ready?
Again, you see, this is the interaction between left brain point of view and right brain point of view. So we can decide not to take risks and to maintain our life in the same way. We will pay a price for this also. I mean, we pay a price for every decision we make, even for not making a decision, we pay price.
Yep.
And if we take a risk, we will pay a price. Something will happen. If we may look at it in the long run, in retrospective of years, we may say, well, it was hard, but something grew out of this. And we look at it from the short term, maybe, oh, it is painful. This decision was painful. Why did I make this decision? Why did I listen to my intuition? So am I ready to take risks, to pay the price, and to earn the things that I can earn while paying this price? Yes, because intuition always leads us to change, always, always. And with change, there is new reality, and new reality has its cost, of course, because it doesn't mean that you go now to a perfect reality. It tells you to move from a place to a place, to make a big change. And now you made a big change. Now you have many new challenges. You lose things because of this change. Maybe in the long run, it was the right thing for your development. But on the way, you had some serious challenges due to this decision. Nice. Okay. Who else wants to? Yes, David.
Since Vardit and Basha mentioned, Vardit mentioned love life, and Basha says that women have more intuition than men. I would like to try to sharpen the question here, if there is a question, and say, let's say you decided to go out with a man, but you go out with another man. One of them is poor, the other one is rich. But you enjoy yourself more going with the poor. And when you go with the rich, it's more convenient, more with everything that comes with it. So you have a conflict here that you say to yourself, why don't I listen to my intuition and go with I'm just sharpening the point. Why don't I go with the guy who have less money, or the guy that I like more than the other guy?
Supposedly that your intuition is saying so, but the logic says, well, it is not logical. We will have a hard life. He doesn't have money. I will have to work hard with him.
Yeah.
But the heart is saying, well, but I like him. All right. It's a nice example. It's a nice example between.
This is I think this is an easy question comparatively. I think that the hardest question is, I have this guy that I like better, but he doesn't treat me right. I know he doesn't treat me right. I know I deserve better, but I like him. So this is harder, I think.
Now you go to a different direction, to addictions. So Tuesdays mornings in Israel, in Hebrew, we talk about addictions.
Okay.
And I'm saying this because many times addictions can block our connection to our intuition. Then we have feelings, but they are related to our addiction. So intuition is not there available for us until we a little bit reduce the level of the addiction. Maybe intuition was trying to tell you, do not go there, it will harm you, but you couldn't listen because you were too addicted. You didn't want to listen. All right? But intuition is not always what we feel. We feel many other things. Just intuition is coming via the feelings. But we can feel things out of our fear, addictions, habits, norms in the society, etc. Okay.
It's a question. How do I differentiate between feelings that come from intuitions and feelings that come from other places in my psyche or whatever?
So we have here a very, very big issue that is related to positive passion, to positive decisions, to courageous decisions. Many times it is retrospectively, we can say it was positive or negative. And it may be something that we need to practice in order to get better in. Sometimes it is about practicing taking risks, not only with love life, other things. Let's say, I feel in my body that. So can I give it a chance? Can I give it a try? Even it doesn't make sense. For example, if I complete the sentence, I don't know why, but I feel that I have to, that I need to. And ask this question more often. I don't know why. This is where I block a little bit my left brain. I'm saying, I don't know why. I have no reason. I have no answer for this, but still I feel the urge to do it. And then I may practice it. And when I practice it, I get better in connection. I cannot improve my connection unless I make it into some action. It cannot stay in my feelings. Before we end, I would like to encourage you till the next class to read again chapter 1 and 2 together. We will move to chapter 2 next time. And I would like to address what Basha said about women, to say that intuition belongs to the feminine energy. The feminine energy is about the inside. Home, feelings, spirituality, intuition, emotions, okay? The inside, connection, while the masculine energy is about the outside. Work, walls, struggle, fight, disconnect, logic. Okay? So I would say that the feminine energy is better connected, but women need to develop their feminine energy for this. And also men need to develop their feminine energy for this. Usually women are better connected to feminine energy. Okay, but they can be blocked as well, especially in our culture where you are trained from childhood to think in a straight way and to make the right choice in the examination, not another choice, not to trust your feelings, but what you remember that you were supposed to say. So we are trained not to be intuitive. And what we're doing here in these sessions is kind of encouraging intuition to come back so we can start trusting it. All right. Any other things you want to say, ask? I would like to encourage you to share with us more events or situations in which you had some discussion with your intuition, in which you had some kind of insight that you don't understand how you came to understand it, and suddenly you understand it. Or you had an urge to do something strange and you decided to follow it, and what happened? So I would like to encourage you to share it with us in the group, because it's an inspiration. When someone is saying, the other one will say, well, it also happened to me. So it becomes something of the group, and then it is more legitimate in a culture where intuition is not that legitimate. Okay? All right. So thank you. I will stop sharing. Yes.
This week?
What is your question?
Are we going to record the second chapter this week?
Do you like this?
Yes.
Right? Let's do it. So I'm also inviting those of you who did not participate or ask about mediate this.
We can't hear you.
You're fading.
We still can't hear you.
That's
Let us
the,
do. Okay. All right. I will say hello to Roberta, who joined who joined here just now.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Really? Where is she? Huh?
So when is the next meeting going to take place?
Every Tuesday on the same time. Every Tuesday on
Every
5. Roberta. Hello, Roberta. We're just about to finish. You know?
Some kind of time difference.
Yeah. Sorry. Next week, 1 hour before earlier. Okay. All right. Goodbye.